This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Good morning. This is Mike Stoller for the Stoller Real Estate Report. Capital for real estate, financing for real estate, acquisitions of real estate, ownership of real estate. That's the mantra of the BAB Capital Group. I have the CEO, Lee Brodsky, here today. Thanks for being here.
Michael, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell me what BAB Capital is. I mean, the company is now like in the third generation, correct?
It's second generation. We emanated from a family office. My father was a healthcare and technology entrepreneur and bought real estate along the way. And then I came over. I was at Newmark for 13 years, cutting my teeth and learning the real estate business. Came over to build an institutional platform off of our real estate holdings. He had a great track record of investing, and I had a track record in servicing large institutions. So we felt like there was a good synergy there. And that happened about 8 years ago. We've done some amazing projects along the way. I would say one thing I would highlight that we've accomplished is we launched our credit platform in 2020 in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And so that really allowed us to take off and kind of build an institutional credit business that we run today.
So let's talk about the institutional credit business. What are you doing? What type of deals?
Sure. We play in the lower middle market. We are light transitional bridge lenders, so our average duration is about 17 months. We recently launched our second credit fund. These are all senior secured loans. 60% of the current portfolio is industrial, made up a third of industrial outdoor storage, a third of small or shallow bay, and a third of more boutique warehouses. And then the other 40% is made up evenly between multifamily and outdoor retail, so grocery anchored or anchored strip centers.
And what the term you said is like 17 months?
Yeah, that's the average duration. We write our loans are like 1 to 3 years. We're really trying to be a transitional bridge lender to something. So whether our takeout is usually a traditional loan from either a regional bank or a larger institution or a sale. We play in the lower middle market, so the majority of our loans are below $20 million.
And what about the pricing?
So we price our loans somewhere in the mid 4s over SOFR, so we're all in between 9 and 9.5. And folks like to come to us because we typically don't ask for personal recourse, which is what a regional bank would require if it was a vacant asset. In addition, if there's a timeliness aspect to it, so if they need to close within 30 or 45 days, we're able to do that. And then in addition, if they're early on in their business plan, typically regional banks, if they give you a loan, will require some sort of depository relationship, which is really would hamstring I would say a newer sponsor, because they need those dollars to put down deposits on their third and fourth and fifth transactions, and we don't require that. So that helps them kind of grow their business. Geographically,
where are you doing these loans?
So the majority of our book is in the southeast in Texas. So obviously there's a lot of growth and the population growth there, and we find a significant amount of transactions, and it also allows us, they're much more borrower and landlord friendly states, which allows us to increase the proceeds that we would give a borrower, knowing that if there's an issue and we need to get to the asset, we're able to without a significant amount of time.
Okay, with regard to the investment side of your business, let's talk about some of the new transactions you're doing in Brooklyn.
Sure.
Which are interesting.
So since I've been at our firm, we found some great partners to help us rezone and build some, I would say, sub-market defining assets. The two most notable would be on Atlantic Avenue with Douglaston Development, where we're building about 500 units there. I was there this morning. It is the size of this building is it can take your breath away. But they are obviously a best in class. They're fantastic at what they do, and they've helped us build an amazing generational product there that will change the neighborhood.
What about the affordability?
And so we have these are 70-30 deals, so almost a third of the apartments are affordable, and that was a big part of the rezoning, is we wanted to deliver affordable units in the neighborhood to cater to the constituents in that neighborhood. So the affordability components were measured by what the demographics are of the neighborhood in which we're building.
Let's talk about Park Slope.
So Sunset Park is a project that we're building with SK Development. We had the same partners, Tucker Reed and Ofer Cohen of the Atlantis Group, helped us rezone that project and that site. And we're building 181 units right across from Industry City. And that had the same concept. We're building more affordable units in this one project than were built like 10 years prior. And there was still a significant amount of development there. So we're really proud to deliver to that sub-market units that will cater to the constituents in that market, which is really the core of what we tried to do.
What about the City of Yes, or the 485X?
So we this was actually in the Legacy 421A program.
I realize that. Yeah.
And there was obviously, our timing was interesting, given that we had to build prior to knowing that there was an extension to the completion requirement of the 421A project, 421A program. We haven't done anything in the new 485X program, but I know that Tucker and Ofer and their group have really focused on finding opportunities, and I'm sure they'll be successful. They've done an amazing job with our group in terms of the two sites that we built.
Since you spent 13 years with Newmark, you're very knowledgeable of the office market. So what's going on with you and the co-working business?
So in one of the assets, we're a Port Washington-based business in Long Island, and we had an asset that was occupied by one of my father's businesses for 30 years. And so we redeveloped that asset and built out a co-working space. And we've seen a tremendous activity from folks that want to work close to home. So they have an office in the city, but 1 or 2 days a week want to work close to home, but aren't really able to do that. Because a lot of us, when we're home, our spouses think we're available to them instead of working during the week. And it's been incredible to see the different types of tenants that come through, whether it's someone who wants the space for a week or a month or even a year. And it's transitional. It's businesses that are growing. It's people that are transitioning from one office space to another. It's someone who needs a week to bring their executive team in to meet. And we start to see a lot of traction. And I was able to kind of take my experience at Newmark of delivering a great tenant experience and delivering it to something on Long Island that typically hasn't been done, because Long Island has mostly institutional style buildings, but they don't have a lot of creative type buildings. So my experience in Brooklyn and my experience at Newmark, we've delivered a lot of common areas, indoor and outdoor, which is unique for a Long Island suburban office building.
Okay, so where do you see the opportunities for the company's different venues?
So I think if I could take you forward 5 years, what I really see us being is more of a capital allocator, because we've been so successful in the credit platform. I see us taking more of a role of, after being a senior secured lender, maybe we're going to move towards being a mezzanine lender, or preferred equity lender, a preferred equity partner, or even a co-GP partner, and really taking the skills of evaluating great sponsors and helping them achieve their business plans, and just moving throughout the capital stack into different aspects of risk that will allow them to be successful. Because what we've found is the folks that we've been financing are fantastic at what they do, and we want to be able to help them in any way that we can. So if I could look at a good transaction and a sponsor I like and say to them, hey, where would you like us to fit? And they tell us where they want us to fit, and then we can tell them what the pricing is associated with that portion of the stack, I think that yields for a successful future for our firm.
I think you've been successful. You've just finished like $300 million of loans, I remember, and you're creating a new fund, and we'll have you back in the future. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it.